Have you ever sat through a presentation and understood absolutely nothing? The presentation is on slide 17. Everyone else is nodding, and you're still there thinking, wait, what did he mean on slide 4? But obviously, you don't say anything because now you'd have to admit that you have been confused for the last 13 slides. So you do what any reasonable person would do. You nod too and hope there isn't a quiz at the end. But this got me thinking. We have AI that can write code, generate images, create videos, research almost anything, and apparently take images of cats doing taxes. But presentations still work almost exactly the same way they did decades ago. Someone talks, you listen. They move forward. You try to keep up. And if you don't understand something, well, good luck. But what if presentations work differently? What if you could interrupt any presentation at any moment and just ask a question? And I don't only mean PowerPoint presentations, I mean everything. Training videos, product walkthroughs, sales presentations, employee onboarding tutorials, even those 42 minutes videos where the answer you made is hidden somewhere around minute 32. Imagine you are watching a presentation about artificial intelligence. The presenter says large language models use transformers, and you think, great, one small problem. I have absolutely no idea what transformer is. Normally, you have three options. One option, pretend you understood everything. Option two is open Google, read 6 articles, become even more confused. And option three is ask ChatGPT and miss the presentation. But imagine instead, you simply pause the presentation and ask, can you explain transformers like I'm 10? And the presentation answers. Then you ask, can you give me an example? It gives you one. Okay, but why are they better than older AI models? It explains that too. And when you are ready, the presentation continues. That's a completely different experience because now you're not watching a presentation, you're having a conversation with it. And the more I thought about this, the more use cases I started noticing. Take employee training. You join a new company. Congratulations. Here's your laptop, here's your email, and here are 17 training videos. 1 hour on company policies, 40 minutes on cybersecurity, 30 minutes on internal software, 20 minutes on something you're fairly certain nobody in the company actually understands. And you have to watch all of it, even if you already know half of it. But what if training actually adapted to you? Imagine the presentation says, never share your password with another employee. And you say, yeah, I know this, skip the basics. So it does. Then it teaches something you don't understand. Wait, what should I do if I receive a suspicious email? It answers, can you show me an example? It shows that to you as well. What if the email comes from my manager? Now it explains that specific situation. Suddenly, the same training presentation becomes different for every employee. And that raises an interesting question. Why does everyone get the same presentation in the first place? Think about a university lecture. 30 students, 30 completely different levels of understanding. One student already knows the basics, and other student is completely lost. One wants more example, another wants the professor to please, for the love of God, stop giving examples and will follow. But everyone gets the same exact presentation. At the end, same speed in the same exact order. That's actually pretty strange when you think about it, because almost everything else is becoming personalized. Your Netflix homepage is personalized, your Spotify recommendations are personalized, your Instagram feed is also probably personalized that it knows you are hungry before you do. But education, here the same 47-minute video for everyone. Good. Now, imagine an online course where you could say, I already understand this part. Just skip to the more complex situations. Explain this more simply. Done. Give me a real world example. Done. Test me before we continue. Done. Apparently, I understood absolutely nothing. Explain it again. Also done. That's not just a better video. That's almost like having a personal teacher available whenever you need one. But education is just one of the examples. Think about something completely different. Are you buying a house? Someone sends you a property presentation. 40 pages, beautiful apartment pictures, floor plans, amenities, locations, pricing. More pictures of suspiciously happy families eating breakfast. And somewhere inside that presentation is the information you actually care about. So instead of reading everything, you ask, show me the apartments under one floor. The presentation skips ahead. Which ones have 3 bedrooms? It filters them. How far is the nearest metro? It answers. What's the distance between these two apartments? It compares them. Now, here's what's interesting. The presentation did not need more information. All that information was already there. It just needed a better way for you to access it. And I think that's the bigger problem. We are creating more content than ever before. More videos, more courses, more presentations, more documents, more tutorials, and even more PDFs. More of everything. But finding the exact information you need, it's somehow still in because we're no longer talking about making better presentations. We're talking about changing what presentation actually is. For most of history, a presentation has been one way. Someone has information, they package it, you consume it, and that's it. Book works this way, videos work this way, presentation work this way, training or even tutorials work this way. But conversations don't. In a conversation, if you're confused, you ask. If you're bored, you move forward. If you're interested, you go deeper. If you already know something, you skip that. And maybe that's what presentation have been missing, the ability to listen. Because here's the strange thing. We're spending billions making AI better at generating content. AI can create your slides. It can write you a script, generate your voice, create your video, even create a digital presentation. But after all of that, we're still giving the viewer a play button. Watch, pause, rewind, fast forward. That's basically it. We use the most advanced technology in history to create another video clip. Maybe the next big chance isn't big. Maybe the next big change isn't how content is created. Maybe it's how content is consumed. Imagine watching a product walkthrough and asking, does this work with the software my company already uses? Imagine opening a company presentation and asking, okay, but how does this business actually makes money? Imagine watching a tutorial and saying, skip everything I already know. Every one of these experiences uses the same basic idea. The content stops treating you like an audience and start treating you like parts. And I think that's where the presentations are heading. Not more animations, not prettier transitions, not another AI tool that generates 50 slides from one sentence. Interactive presentations, walkthrough that adapts, training that answers questions, tutorials you can interrupt, content that actually knows what you're trying to understand. And this is something we have actually been exploring while building DemoDazzle. The idea is simple: turn presentations and walkthroughs from one-way content into interactive AI experiences where viewers can ask questions, get answers, and explore information based on what they actually care about. Because maybe the future of presentations isn't about becoming better and talking. Maybe for the first time, it's about learning how to listen. And this is exactly the idea we have been exploring with DemoDazzle. Instead of creating another presentation that people just sit and watch, DemoDazzle turns presentation, training content, and product walkthroughs into interactive AI experiences. Your viewer can ask questions while watching, get answers instantly, and explore the content based on what they actually want to know. Because maybe the future of presentation isn't about making people watch more. It's about letting them participate. And that's what we're building with them.